The terrible act of terrorism in Oklahoma City has left behind a pile of rubble made of concrete and steel, and emotional chaos for the families involved. But the bombing has also left a large question. Should messages of hate and destruction be protected as free speech?
Using the old-style math, you can get about 4 politicians for 120 foot of rope.
The speaker is political extremist Mark Kornke. He's a man who uses public forums, a daily shortwave radio show, and military-style training tapes to spread his message endorsing local militias.
Remember, you have to respond violently and quickly to defend your area of operation.
Mr. Kornke's message can also be found on the internet, that global link of information that can be accessed by almost anyone with a computer. Henry McDaniel is the editor of the Internet's Journal of Patriotic Justice in America. His journal keeps track of all news reporting on militias.
Tens of thousands of people can read the internet news groups that talk about militia issues.
Although there has been no direct evidence so far linking inflammatory rhetoric to the Oklahoma bombing, internet participants like extremist Kornke are under intense scrutiny. But the executive director of the Internet Society says that because of free speech guaranteed by the First Amendment, there is little that can be done to police or censor the internet.
It's essentially impossible to really do anything about any specific activities other than to openly monitor what's going on.
Mr. McDaniel not only agrees, he doesn't like the idea of the possibility of special government controls on electronic messages.
It's essentially saying that people who use computer networks to communicate with their friends should have less rights than people that just use the regular mail carrier.
Nonetheless, because of the bombing, discussion of government controls has made its way onto the national agenda.
I asked the leaders of Congress from both parties to come to the White House today because I know that we have a shared commitment to do everything we possibly can to stamp out the kind of vicious behavior we saw in Oklahoma City.
This means that there will likely be hearings on Capitol Hill about the bombing and any influence that the rhetoric of extremists may have had. Kansas Congressman Sam Brownback says he has concerns about the government attempting to control services like the internet.
I think we ought to have great caution here in this area. I don't know that people in this nation want a lot of people to be domestically spied upon.
On the street, most Americans felt the sorrow of Oklahoma, but most supported the militia's right to free speech.
Oh, I think that we really don't have any choice, although I would wish that they didn't exist. The reality is that they do, and I think that we can't control that.
The internet is open to everyone and therefore should not be restricted.
Not everyone agreed.
I think they should be wiped off the earth. That's how